All right, it's 6 o'clock. We can go ahead and start our meeting. First is roll call. Judy's here. Chris is here. Shane's here. Brian's here. So the only one that we're missing unless it's just Steve. Okay. And on the back page of our agenda tonight is minutes from the last time that we met. If you guys want to go over those, and when you're finished, let me know if you accept them. It's on the chair.
Motion approved. Second.
You want a minute to look over the last units? Okay. They're pretty straightforward. Okay, next we can set the agenda for tonight. If you guys want to look through that, see if you want to approve that.
Motion to set the agenda. Second.
So I'm on cold medicine, so sorry, but I'm gonna make it. Okay, our first monthly report will be from Matt Beatty. I had a list of things that I sent to each department head that I felt had to do with monetary in some way, shape, or form, which is you know, our job here at the commission. So does anybody have any questions about this report sheet? Okay. And then do you have anything about like the personnel? Like, are you up on everybody, your full staff?
On one shift, one shift has a paramedic on each truck. The other two shifts are a paramedic on one truck and two EMTs on the other truck. But we're full staff. We have 5 PRN right now. We're working to add another paramedic. We got 3 paramedics, PRN, and 2 EMTs.
Okay.
To what? I'm
sorry. Oh, the PRN staff, the as needed staff, we're gonna have 3 paramedics and 2 EMTs fill in when people are off.
Do you have any updates for the vehicles? You guys have gotten your newest vehicle.
It is. So it's our new one out there.
Beautiful. And we can put to rest that old having to paint the last one. Is there any anything that has to do with vehicles? Like if you have to get one, any of the one has to be out of service for like putting in radio systems or anything like that?
We're good. Absolutely.
Good.
The other thing I would bring up about vehicles is we're probably gonna look at either remounting one of our current ones or purchasing a new one sometime in the fairly near future. And we're looking at a new ambulance. It's probably running anywhere from $290 to $320 for the ambulance, and a remount, we're looking around $200. And on a new one, and even a remount, we're looking at about 15 to 18-month turnaround time.
Does that mean in 15 days, 10 months?
Yes, ma'am. So
Are
that's,
you ready for a new one?
well, that's how long it would take if we ordered one today. We'd get one in about 15 or 18 months. If we go with the new one, we're looking around $290 to $320 for a remounted box off one of our old chassis onto a new chassis is around a little over around $200.
How many do we have?
3.
How many do we need?
Well, we probably need to replace one pretty soon and then another one pretty soon after that. Both of our older ambulances have over 200,000 miles on them already. And the oldest one, we just replaced the transmission and a DEF system in it. So that's about $10,000 right there, a little bit more. So we're starting to just wear and tear on them, start to break them down.
Was it hard to resell?
You don't get anything for them. We could, but I think the last two that we had sold, that we had, surplus, we got like 46,000. There's really not a big demand for an ambulance. Yeah. Yeah, on that, it's just not. Now, if it had the older engine in it, they were more popular, but these newer diesel engines, nobody's really looking for them.
Okay, and as far as training with you guys do all yours online?
No, we actually did 32 hours of in-person training this year. So now with the new training incentive, we're doing more in person so they can be eligible for the $800 training incentive that the state's approved for this year.
Okay, and then, maintenance, that's your buildings. Whether,
Right now, we're doing okay. We're slowly kind of replacing some of the lighting fixtures as they go from fluorescent to LED, but other than that, everything's pretty up to par.
okay, you know, I just found out not too long ago that I remember us discussing a new supply system that you guys wanted to start that didn't go through.
Right, yeah. That's fine. We're doing fine with what we got. I mean, it was nice to have the newer tracking system, but we're making do with what we have. We may look at that this coming budget.
Yeah. So hardship waivers, have we had just
Yeah, we'll be right.
one? Have we had some that have some been,
No, this is the latest one, and I'm not sure, let's see if it's got a date. I want to say this was pretty recent. Oh, yeah, December. So this was December 2nd, so it was last month.
okay. Okay, and everything's redacted on it,
It is. Yeah,
okay,
we'd like to see it. I can just brief you on it if you like. So it's the Amish gentleman that lives out in the Amish community. His annual salary is 15,000. That's probably generous. They're just based off what they sell and stuff from their place. His monthly salary is about $1,200. He tries to work 40 hours a week, has 3 children, 32 and 10 months. I've got some banking statements. His date on this. So October, his ledger was $41. In December, it was just over 2,000. And then in October, it was $537 or $339.
Is there any way that we can bring up the resolution at a next meeting that we passed a couple years ago? Or we can do something to not go over this? Because hardship waivers, you know, there's people in this commission that's used them.
Yeah.
And I just don't think it's our business what somebody's going through, their financials. Really didn't know all about it whenever, I think we voted on it 2 years ago. I just like to bring it back up, maybe do away with it.
okay. We can look into that, but I know that it has to be signed off on. It would be signed off by me, from this committee, so,
Before the resolution, didn't you sign off on it?
Yes, me or the mayor could have had the authority to.
okay. I mean, that doesn't bother me. Let me
I
jot
mean,
that.
unless there was some way that you want to come by the office or something that where it's not just thrown out to the general public. So it's, it don't matter to me. I'll do whatever y'all like.
No, I don't have any problem with you
I think
guys.
we passed it in here 2 years ago, but there was a lot going on 2 years ago and it got thrown in and I just don't think it's our business.
Okay, so,
That is made a motion to bring it up next month.
I go make a motion, we bring it up next month and bring it back to like it was, not be talking about it like,
yeah,
yeah. Talking about it.
because, yeah, I mean, for sure, they're having a hard enough, time. Okay, so,
Mr. Beatty.
Yes.
Who do you have for private contracts with?
Amy, can you elaborate on that? Private contracts in our budget?
I know it's with Vanderbilt for your medical director. I'm going to mispronounce this. Telephone for the credit card payment.
Okay.
And I think that's all I can think of right now. I mean, popular.
We play Vanderbilt with just under 10,000 a year for medical direction, or
Mhm.
roughly around 10,000. And I'm not sure what, I know the Elevos changes a little bit every
Yeah,
month.
that's
so.
every month. It's around
See, I
9,200.
didn't, I thought it was people,
Oh, no, it's,
contacts that you
no, no,
drove for.
yeah, no.
I'm new.
No, that's fine. Ask any question you like. More than happy to answer anything you got.
Well, let me ask you something.
Sure.
Court said,
Mm-hmm.
they pay you all just like everyone else.
Correct. Mhm.
Good, buddy.
So they're self-insured now. They used to go through a private insurance
So you
company.
have a second on that?
I see.
They pay 85% of whatever we do. So it's usually around $1,000.
Oh, is everybody paying?
Well, no, some people, it depends on your insurance, so it's gonna be a Teresa question for sure.
Okay.
Right, and then that's the same thing, would we, I wonder if we wouldn't treat the write-offs the same,
So, I mean, that's basically what it is.
because there's the
they're basically
hardships
same
and there's the
thing.
waivers.
Yeah, so the write-offs, which are mostly insurance related, that
Yeah.
we're obligated by law to do. And the other write-offs, which are the hardships.
Okay, so,
So it's
Both
basically
of
the
them.
same thing.
okay, all right,
Just a bunch of different write-off lines, and they're all kind of
okay.
within the same.
Do you have any budget concerns at the moment that we need to look over?
I think the only thing we're really running over on is gonna be, maintenance and repair to the building. We got a couple expenses that we had to pay out, so I'm sure we got enough. We can move monies around internally to cover that without any problems, but that's the only real overage that I noticed.
Okay, all right,
With regard to, Mr. Nolan puts the motion on the, I'm fine with not going into the details on here, but I mean, I don't think I'd probably want to see is still, even just say, we granted one hardship waiver.
Sure.
But we don't have to go into the details, it was signed off on by the chairman, and if any of us have questions about the specifics, we can always go to Mr. Beatty's office and get the details, but I'd first see us keep it in a limited fashion. We don't have to go into all the details, but knowing, okay, we granted one hardship waiver this month, or we granted two this month. I would like to see this, at least the committee, at least be informed in that regard.
how does the rest of the committee feel about it?
Fine,
Just a number? Just a number,
Yeah.
if we had any?
Yeah, I think that's probably an easier scenario
That's fine.
is when we didn't have quorum for several months. And if we had somebody that needed to be approved, we wouldn't have a committee to vote on and approve that. So when we get delayed, over. Sometimes we get delayed.
Okay, all right, next is fire. All in favor of David Knowler's motion that we no longer go over the waivers and the write-offs in this committee?
In detail.
Other than just how many you got or,
Number only.
yeah, like that.
All in favor? Next is Mr. Wheeler with the fire department. If you guys want to do that.
Questions that posed to me are all answered for you in the report.
Yeah.
I don't want to belabor this, lengthen it by rereading them to you. But if you have questions about certain aspects, I'll be happy to answer them for you. The budget concern that we have that needs to have some discussion points would be an addition onto the fire station. It is completely full. And if you'll notice some of the pictures that we took, that's in your packet. That's without the Brush 12 truck, which is at Blankenship's for repair. So once it comes back, something's got to park outside.
Is this the same brush truck that's been at Blankenship for?
Now, we were told about a week ago that they have a police car to finish. And then after that, they will move our truck in to work on the new chassis. Set a new chassis in.
Okay,
We've heard that for a long time.
yeah, a very long time.
If any of you have any level of influence out there, I encourage you to use it and exert it.
6 to 8 months, a year behind.
Well, they've had our truck since July of 23.
Mhm.
Yeah. Right after we cleared up the paperwork on the insurance payment, we put it into the shop. And so I think I pulled a purchase order in July of 23 for that truck. So they've had it since then. The new brush truck from Skeeter was delivered mid-December. We've already taken it out on just a few calls, but not many. But we did, Madam Chair, we did on the building, we did reach out to a company in Kentucky, Kentucky Steel. They put up steel fabricated buildings just to see what a price would be. If you all want to pursue this, you need to give us some level of direction on what to do. They priced us a 5-bay metal building. And when you do business with them, it is you get a steel kit. Kit has to be put together. It has to have a concrete slab, or it has to have the utilities brought to it for it to function. But they priced us a 30 by 60 building with 5 bays, 5 roll-up garage doors. Their cost for the steel was $52,265. Ken also followed up and asked them what a 30 by 80 building would be that had 6 roll-up doors. And the cost for the 30 by 80, and this number's not in your packet, but it's $56,285. So going out to 80 feet only added about $4,000 to the steel. We talked, can I come back? Let me finish my train of thought and then I'll get you. We talked also with Mike Dice on the concrete work for 30 by 80 building. And the concrete work would be about $20,000. And ma'am,
Extra than the smaller.
that's for the larger, the 30 by 80. So the smaller one would be a little less because he calculates it based on the square footage that they're pouring. Then you would have assembly, utilities on top of those costs.
Would it be at the same place?
Pardon me?
Would it be at the same place where it is now?
That would be my proposal, would be to put it off of the edge of the concrete pad at the back of the building. We set that when we designed that fire station, we set it far enough from the property line for the Broadway apartments that there could be additions put on that side without creating or encroaching on the property boundaries.
Would they have to be insulated? buildings?
Yes, we would want it insulated and heated to keep because we would put some trucks there, probably the brush trucks, but they they stay fully loaded, so we gotta prevent them from freezing in the winter day.
Yeah.
We'd have to put overhead radiant heat in, to keep the building at least 50-odd degrees in those coldest periods. Chris, let me get to you.
You actually answered most of what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask what other costs would be entailed that would a 30 by 60 or 30 by 80 fit on, and you've answered that, so.
We think we've looked at the rear of the fire station and, it could be set on the Broadway apartment side, or it would require some additional fill to build up, but it could also be set on the opposite side, closer to town and the post office.
Okay.
But it would, that side slopes off, the lot drains on that side, so it would require more fill
Okay.
on that.
Okay, so we got 52 for the building, 20 estimate for the concrete. Do we have even a rough estimate, like I said, everything done, get it insulated?
No.
Okay, okay.
No. We were operating without permission on this, so if you want us to follow through with more details, we need some authorization. We don't just need to be flying out in the wind here. Ken?
Insulation and insulated doors are in these quotes.
They're in there.
Building will have wall and door insulation.
Did they give you, excuse me, did they give you a price on putting this thing together?
They can't operate in a Kentucky company. This Kentucky company can't operate in Tennessee. You'll have to hire another company to assemble the building.
Well, that's weird, because this is the one, these people built mine. And they put it
told
together.
Ken that they could not install down here. Now, another question you're gonna run into, because this is a government building, is, are you gonna have to engineer it? Are you gonna have to, obtain bids? All of these factors, and we were just gathering you some rough numbers.
I'll move that we authorize the fire chief to put together some, more exact numbers, something that he can come back with this committee with.
Well, I'll ask the question.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
Just to throw out, seems like if you bought your stuff from the same person who's gonna put it together, it'd be cheaper. I don't know.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And he could always look at a Tennessee company too, if he's putting our numbers together. I'm
That was just the first company we reached. We did not search for additional ones. Mayor and Lonnie, question for you too.
Yes, sir.
Gonna have to be engineered?
Most likely, yes. And, I heard Ken's preliminary guesstimate. I'm still gonna think that it's gonna be closer to 200 by the time, I'm still, you need to add water. I know you may not have been counting on adding water.
Yes.
How many, what kind of amperage electric service you're looking for out there, but I mean, heat, water, drainage, site prep before you do the concrete pad. Most certainly, I'm gonna say we're gonna have an engineer. We're gonna have to have an engineering stamp on, it to be able to get it certified and also be able to order occupancy. You're looking close to 200.
Jack, do you have an engineering company that you normally have done business with, county?
One that we've done more than any other, the engineering company on the health department.
You remember who that was? Okay.
That is, Oakley. They're in Lebanon.
It's
Architectural.
the same Oakley out of, Livingston.
No.
WO.
Yeah, this is a different firm. They're in Wilson County. I've done a lot of work with them. This last one.
They're in the final running.
If you can give me a number or a contact point, then we'll route this through them to begin some discussion.
Okay, and then it says, Vector Solutions, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Where are you? What's your question?
For your training?
Okay, what about the training?
Could you tell us a little bit about Vector Solutions or how you came about?
We are evaluating, company called Vector Solutions. And they produce a whole series of first responder training video. They've got a set of them that are EMS, they've got a set of them that are law enforcement, they've got a set of them that's fire. And you buy basically the module that you want. And you will obtain login privileges, and your firemen can either train on these individually or they can train as a group. And one of the beauties of this particular company is they are connected with the state certification group. And classes taken under them and with the proper logins are automatically logged into the state's certification system. So the firemen would not only receive training, but they would receive state certified training credits for these hours. We've only evaluated or begun to evaluate it, so we're not locked into it. We haven't made a purchase yet, but it looks like it's a good system for us to use.
That's who we use, by the way, for our online stuff. I'd say most fire departments that I know of use it. Used to be Target Solutions. Now it's Vector.
Okay, do you currently have any maintenance needs at your building?
Have what?
Any maintenance needs at your building?
More space. Need a building,
Right.
but everything else is working pretty good. I've got a Charleston Heat and Air is putting in a attic fan for us. They put it in this morning. And we've been having issues where during the summertime, the ductwork, which is running above the drop ceiling, sweats. And it just drips and pours down. So we've got to get some heat out of the attic space above the training room. So we're installing a attic fan to there'll be thermostat control, take care of that. But as far as I know, everything else is fine.
Do you have any budget concerns right now?
Just whatever you want me to do on the building.
There's some numbers.
Yes, if you could get us numbers for that, that would be great. Okay, thank you.
Chris,
I had one of the questions, and this was something I had emailed Mr. Beeler about. So we got had received basically a press release through my work about grant funding for fire departments and rescue squad. Basically, they announced the statewide awards, and I noticed that Trousdale was not in there. So I was just curious whether we had applied and just didn't get it, or whether we had not been aware of the.
we did not apply this most recent year.
Okay.
We did apply the year before.
Okay.
We needed the breathing air compressor. You usually look at this grant for large single purchases. I didn't have anything that fit their grant criteria for this particular year.
Okay.
The previous
Gotcha.
year, we asked for funding for the breathing air compressor, cost about $32,000, but we were denied. And their application process is cumbersome to work with too. So you hate to do this very many times and get turned down. So this past year, no, did not apply.
Okay.
Had nothing, no need that matched their criteria.
Okay, I mean, obviously, it's early, 'cause I think that it was a November timeline. Do we anticipate anything that might?
Like a building?
They want fund buildings, they want fund buildings, they want fund vehicles. They've got to be certain, and they tend to revise what we'll fund list from year to year. Some years they have funded turnout gear, but it was not available on the list the year that we got turnout gear. They were funding air compressors, but they denied our request.
Okay, I said, I was just curious on that, and thank you.
Anything else?
Anybody? All right, thank you. Rescues next. If everybody wanted to go over that sheet. All right, so right off the bat, I've got questions about the maintenance that still needs to be completed. Do we know what's going on with that?
We've turned in two of the written requests to Cliff, but ain't nothing been done yet. So we still haven't no heat. We got those boats sitting back there. I mean, if those lower units freeze up and buzz, that's gonna cost more than the heater probably.
Yeah. Okay, so we had a list of things from a year ago that needed to be fixed. Have any of them been fixed?
They tried to fix some of it, but where the water still comes into the building, the mold comes right back.
Is there any way that we can get Cliff to a meeting or? Mayor, do you have any issue with us calling Cliff to come into a meeting or? Okay. Yeah. I remember at one point there was Oscar that was gonna be down there, his guy, and then there was gonna be a plan and it was gonna be done in phases and it's still here, incomplete.
Now, when you talk about water damage, did they correct the water coming in from the bay into the restroom? there?
Yes, this is the building up
This is,
from us.
this is the rescue building. Yeah.
It's in awful shape.
The pole barn.
Yeah, it looks like a pole barn.
No, I'll have to look at it right away.
Okay, thank you.
Generator for the truck.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've got a gas generator now, but its gas tank is busted. And so it ripped out all into the truck, so everything in the truck smells like gas.
Oh, yeah.
So we're trying to get a new one. we're looking at getting a new one.
Okay. How much you think it'll cost?
If you get one from like Harbor Freight, I'm looking for $700, $800. A good one that would push what we need to push.
Bring it to a.
Yeah, look, I was gonna look at the budget and see if there isn't, there should be a line item that you can just put a PO order request. Can they pull that out of 335, 36, or 38? Maintenance and repair service for that?
We got 599 that the charge is $1,000.
Do what?
And other charges, like there's a,
Yeah, also other charges. They're wanting to get a generator for the truck. I guess one's busted and had a gas leak.
Basically, line items 300 and down cover each other. You still have to pull from the line item that the purchase is. So if you're buying a chair, that's an office furniture, you still have to get from that line item. So I would say that y'all barely ever use your budget, so there are definitely lines that'll cover the purchase.
which one do you think it falls under the best?
I mean, for the,
It's a heater. I'm sorry,
It's a generator.
so that'd be other equipment, 790.
for the truck, would it not fall under the 338 maintenance and vehicle?
Well,
I
that's
mean, it's
maintenance
not
and
for the
repair.
truck itself, so it's just a piece of equipment on the truck.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so yeah, that's actually
So it's-
equipment.
Yeah.
Or perhaps we had to, we could always just do a budget amendment and move
Okay.
trucks if we had to. But yeah, there's plenty and other charges.
Have you ever done a purchase order?
Oh.
Matt is gonna put in, purchase order for the new generator for the truck. So that'll take care of that.
Could they be put in the same building?
This is a vehicle.
It goes on a rescue
Yeah,
truck.
right. If we're gonna build more fire department, we add a little that on with it, a larger building. Get them in a whole new building.
I think he's talking about if we did what Mr. Beeler is looking at, that 30 by 80, 6 bays, I think he's talking about, could we get some of the rescue stuff in with whatever we did with fire?
You know, then just.
I
make
think
a
is
new
what
one.
you're, am I?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there what you-
Right. I remember a discussion on that and it wasn't popular. Okay.
If we wind up doing what Mr. Beeler, that might be a conversation worth having down the road. I don't know, I don't know we need to have it now.
Okay.
Having those in a centralized spot might not be the worst idea in the world.
Okay, and then under budget concerns,
Yeah, we're looking into a grant for TARS, which you have to be a member to be able to get it. It's Tennessee Association Rescue Squad grant. And I've been talking to them, and if I fill out this grant and turn it in, they talk like just about every county gets it. And that would help with buying new equipment, stuff like that, but there's a membership that goes along with it, and it's $25 a month per member. So we have 17 members, which I don't think we have to use all of the members, you just gotta have some.
gotcha. Okay.
You know, you $25 a month. You did every member, that's $5,100. So I guess the question is how much?
Yeah,
It's $300 a year,
so in our dues and membership,
$55 a month membership.
Yeah, you said that's $25 per member, you said, is that?
I'm sorry, I messed that up.
Okay. Okay.
It's $25 a month,
Oh, okay.
and then it equals out to $300 a year.
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, right now their dues and membership sits at 200.
There shouldn't be too hard to get raised 100 so they can apply for that.
No, because again, like Amy said, it's in the 300s.
Which I do have 3 members going to Swift Water in May,
Three, and
which
it's
is
200 apiece.
200 apiece per person.
Okay, and right now you've got 550 in that.
You see. Might need to put a budget amendment or
Or,
two together, so we can just some internal and reverse.
Run some numbers tomorrow and come back next month with.
or wonder if they can put it in staff development.
That's what it would.
That is staff development.
That's what it would be.
Yeah, and that's got it. Okay. Motion.
Do we need a motion to authorize them to put some together, because if they did a budget amendment, it had to go, but up to finance. That would be before we would in February, so do we need to something to authorize them to put a budget amendment together for like the training or the,
Training's covered.
well, you said there's 200 in the. No, that's the dues and membership, excuse me, but,
Yeah, that would be for after, if they went ahead and got the grant, then we would worry about, moving up the membership amount.
which line?
Didn't
item?
you say you had to be a member before you could get the grant?
Yes,
So that wouldn't count.
from what I'm getting from the guy that I've been talking to for cars, which I've got a meeting set up with him in February to go talk to him and get more information.
Did he let you know how much the grant is?
Yeah, he said roughly around 300,000. It's $3 million grant.
For 300,000?
Like that needs to be pursued.
Yeah, I think so too. Like
If we could get that.
tomorrow.
budget, you know, if we do that to give them, or they can become members.
Of the TARS?
Yeah, you gotta be a member before you apply for the grant.
Is there anything where you have to be a member for so long before you can apply?
Yeah.
Or are you able to apply the moment you're a member? Okay, I'd want to make sure that was the case too. Wouldn't want to, oh, well, you gotta wait 6 months or whatever, you can apply.
$6,000. Different areas. that we can- I think we can cover.
Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, your turnout gear, how many people don't have turnout gear?
Everybody's got turnout gear, but it's old.
Yeah.
Some of it's just real thin. It's got granite. Some of that.
The enemy one? Like, do you have,
We're doing right now.
you do? Okay, you are. Okay, that sounds good.
Matt, you gonna fix it?
Sir,
You fix it? You gonna fix it?
I'll fix it. Thank you.
Was it? Okay.
I'd like to get this before the committee to get them.
I think we got it.
Yeah, I think Matt's gonna take care of it.
Whether we needed one, it doesn't sound like we need
Mm-mm.
but we need anything.
Okay.
You know?
All right, thank you very much. Okay, and then under discussion items, we've got this Jake break ordinance. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to do law enforcement. You're new to me. Okay, that's fine.
Which I'm.
We're running short on time.
That's fine. We can do the Jake break first. Okay, guys, everybody in their packet, see, it is like. Hey, you want to go over it?
You know what it is, a Jake brake ordinance is, brake on a vehicle, on a tractor trailer that makes it slow down. And I've got a lot of complaints here in the urban service district about them using them. And, you know, I drove a truck for a few years, and the only time I ever used the Jake brake was going down on brakes. Well, emergency slow down. But they're running them through here 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I can hear them from my house. I know Amy said she can hear them. And the traffic that during that time is just, there's nobody out hardly. They're kind of just getting worse. And I've had a lot of people complain to me about it. And, I thought we need to look at this, you know, maybe get an ordinance on it. I talked to Bill Scruggs about the signs. He said he'd be happy to get the signs and put them up. Talked to TDOT. They said we would be responsible for the signs and putting them up, being it's an urban service district. I also talked to Captain of Highway Patrol. They said they would help enforce this when they're out working troopers with them.
And this is for semis.
Semis, dump trucks, a lot of dump trucks have got them.
Yeah, so, well, I guess dump trucks, but semis only have, you know, so many roads they can go down in Little Bitty Hartsville.
Yeah, they would be put on your major, like coming down River Street at the end of 141. Somewhere probably around the high school where you enter the urban service district. They wouldn't be going out of town or nowhere like that, just coming in.
I recommend we send this to the full body.
I'll second that.
Hey, I already made the motion first.
All right.
Okay,
You're
well,
out, Brian.
Okay, well then I'll give Brian the second and Shane the third.
Okay. All right, and then you've got, so that'll go up to, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Sorry, I'm getting nervous. I'm seeing people come in.
Okay, you've got surplus vehicles. We've got 2 vehicles surplus, and we'd like to donate them to Blount County. Last time we sold a vehicle, it brought $500 to $1,000. So the training, they don't charge anything to do it. Their officer goes through this training. We send them up there 3 or 4 at a time. Their instructors come out and do training.
I'll move that that'll need to be declared surplus to the commission, right? Okay, I'll move what we recommend. Letting Ray surplus those 2 vehicles.
All in favor? Opposed?
Okay, next, C, speed limits. I don't know if anybody here ever noticed, when you're coming in from the west, from Hartsville, you start getting into urban services, it goes from 55 to 50 to 45, about before you get to high school, it drops to 35. That 35 runs all the way through to right past the funeral home, it goes to 45. And if you're coming from the east, when you cross Goose Creek Bridge, it's 45, all the way to past the funeral home, then it goes to 35. You got 35 on one end and 45 on the other.
Yeah.
And I'm going to reduce it down to 35 coming in from the west, east of me. From 45 to 35. Talked to Bill Scruggs, he said to get the signs. I talked to Roy at TDOT, he said that same way, urban service district, we wouldn't have to do any kind of study, we can just put them up.
I would say that's all been low.
Not for school traffic. Stand
So-
there and sit down.
I'm gonna get to that next.
When you're standing out there, it's not.
Other one is school traffic. It's 15 at the high school and 25 at the elementary school. I want to reduce it down to 15 also.
Please.
I don't know if they, you ought to raise the one at the high school a little bit. Going out in the morning, people going 50 miles an hour, you're sitting there, it's like, come on.
Bottom line is safety concern of the officers
Yeah.
standing out in the street, directing traffic. And,
I agree.
Most places I've seen is 15 miles per hour.
Crazy out there. They drive like idiots.
How we wound up with 25 on one end and 15 on the other and 35 and 45. East side, just be coming in and out, here's the west side. With all the new construction we got going on, we got more coming on, people trying to pull in and out. And I've watched the speed on a lot of vehicles at 45. Most time they're running 50, almost 55.
Make a motion to approve what.
Okay, all in favor?
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, that will also be sent up to full commission. All right, do you have any, let me see. He's got a list of all of his vehicles here. Okay, surplus vehicle, okay, it's gonna be sent up. Okay. Okay. I don't want to rush yours, but. Okay. You just got two deputy positions?
Let me go with that. Okay, I'll give you an update on that. Number one, one deputy position open, one be filled, talked to a boy yesterday, young man that's, accepted the job. He's gonna have a psychological, physical, and drug screen. He's already a certified officer. So we hire him and, we got one at the jail right now that's working in the jail that's, he was an officer, but he went over his time frame. He's got to go back through the academy. He worked like 7, 8 years as a deputy sheriff in Wilson County. And then he worked for Lebanon Fire Department for about 8 years. But he went over his time, so he's got to go back to the academy, and we've got everything turned in, waiting to hear from him to go back through. And those positions will be full for the first time in years.
Nice.
We get it all filled. Recently had one graduate from academy about a month ago. He's doing good, working hard. We got two dispatch positions open. We've got 2 applicants. We have offered jobs to, and they accepted them. Physicals, I've been waiting on physicals and psychologicals on them. Hopefully next week they'll go get their psychologicals. I think that's right. It wasn't, right? And I got one position at the jail, female position. I had a lady come in today and, I've got to call her back tomorrow. I think she's going to accept position. I'm going to offer it to her. She's got about 4 years experience in correction. That's the only thing we got open right now.
Just on clear, Ray, the 2 applicants, they're waiting on the psych exams are for the dispatch position. Okay, just want to make sure.
One deputy is going.
Going to dispatch?
No.
Oh.
One deputy sheriff is waiting on psychological.
Okay.
And one good thing too, right now, Governor Lee has offered, we should put out pay tuition for an officer to go to the academy. And for the last 2 years, the state's been, let us go for free. They're covering tuition. They're also giving, workout clothes and boots to the officers when they attend. They're saving the county money and all the way around there. Last time we sent somebody, we had to pay was like $3,300, not counting the clothing. Any questions on personnel?
No.
Okay.
Anybody? Person?
Okay, the next is, vehicles, I've got a big list of vehicles here, I got four offended complaints. Last year, we didn't get any vehicles at all. And, right now, we're looking at placing maybe forward. It's like we were talking about a while ago with, ambulances. If we ordered one at the end of this budget year, we'd be looking to have it on the road in 18 months. Same time we buy the equipment and get it all in, get the vehicles in. It's been taking almost a year to get the vehicles in. Then we got equipment, get all the equipment in.
Fair question. Then you said we didn't buy any vehicles last year. I thought we had like 7 in the budget.
Those are from a previous year. There was nothing in last year's budget.
Okay.
This current budget has no vehicles.
Okay, you're talking about the 20,
Yeah.
24, 25. Okay, thank you.
How do you say you need?
Most of probably have to get forward.
Okay, anything you want to say on the calls?
I'm gonna let Wayne talk about it on the call, just to give y'all some numbers on the current call status. I ran the numbers for the last 30 days, from December 27th to January 27th. The department's investigated 10 crashes, issued 64 citations with 67 charges, 18 warnings. The jail has took in 54 inmates and released 54 inmates. We entered 118 warrants and completed 132 warrants. Dispatch has input 1,118 complaint cards this month, and 85 reportable incidents, 5 juvenile incidents, and 57 adults arrested, and 4 cases, 4 domestic incidents with 1 domestic arrest. Here's a call broken down by hour and call. I won't go through all this. I put it in the record. Jail staff has booked in 30 days, 55 inmates. It's a large number. I'll put it in the record. I'll go through all of that. It's been 125's kicked off a busy start so far.
Wow.
And just FYI, so y'all know, talking about calls, that have a Randy Limble, our deputy, was down there Thursday morning going to school, came across the radio, didn't sound right. Dispatcher called the sergeant, supervisor to check on him. They were en route, found him down there. He'd had a massive stroke. We were able to get him out of the car. Matt called Life Flight, get him in the air as soon as humanly possible. Got him to Nashville. They pulled a blood clot out of his inner carotid about that long. They gave him some medicine and he walked out of the hospital some 24 hours later. Amazing. It's a miracle what it is.
That's awesome.
They got some rehab to go through, walking, talking.
That's a blessing.
From not talking and not moving the left side of his body at all,
Yeah, he was.
to walking and talking, just like old Randy's always been.
Wow.
Like I said, 5 years ago, they didn't have the technology to do this, what they done for him. 5 years ago, been a death sentence
When you took him to Vanderbilt, was it Vanderbilt Lebanon or Vanderbilt downtown?
Nashville.
downtown. Yeah, they went right into emergency surgery. They got him down there. And then on a side note, make you aware of another call. Deputy Crook here was working Saturday, had a call of a vehicle all over the road. Got out, tried to get it stopped. Was going into westbound and the eastbound lane, running traffic off the road. The officers trying to get this vehicle stopped. Finally got stopped in Keller parking lot. The 83-year-old female having a stroke. She didn't know what she was doing. And action of the officers and the grace of God, she didn't run over anybody. They'll get the ambulance out there and get her to Sumner County, get her some help. But we been pretty busy.
Busy guy.
All right. Well, I get him on blood pressure medicine, take it, but, we've been pretty busy so far.
Okay, I'm gonna skip down a little bit because we're running over. last thing. Radio tower construction, can you give me a little bit of info on that? And then the rest of this, we can kind of slide over till next month.
Started this with budget year. Commission, okay, the money to, for the tower, 911's gonna pay for all the equipment to go in it. Since then, back in September, October, we hired an engineer to go and look at the project. And as far as I know, he hadn't done anything. I've called him 2 times in the last 3 weeks. He hasn't returned my calls. And we need to try to get this project going because we're gonna be going in the next budget year here shortly.
So you want a new engineer?
We may have to. We need the project to move forward. And we got a list here, on the calls. Dig it out here somewhere, but that on 231 north and south. Radios in the car usually work pretty good, but when you get out on a portable radio, if you get so many feet away from the car, you've got no contact with the radio at all. We've had probably 20-something instances in the past month where this has happened. The way the west side of the county is building up, we spend more time on the portables down there than probably the other part of the county. We definitely need to improve communication. We're trying to keep the deputy on that end of the county at all times.
Go up in.
Some of the fees are down there and then all the businesses and everything.
All right, guys. So any other discussion that the committee wants to have?
We need to schedule a meeting earlier in February.
Yeah, we definitely, well, we're over by 2 minutes at the moment. But yeah, for sure. Mr. Noller? Hit one more. Public comments. Anybody out there have anything they want to say? Okay, all right, motion to adjourn by Mr. Noller. All right, adjourned.